Hi, good evening. My name's Jason Debly, and tonight's whiskey review is the Naked Grouse. So, you probably are familiar with an entry-level blended Scotch whiskey product called Famous Grouse, which has a number of brand extensions like, in the back there's Black Grouse, Smoky Black Grouse, Alpha Grouse, and a few age statements. I had a Famous Grouse 30 years old about 20 years ago. It was amazing stuff. So this is called Naked Grouse. It comes in a plain, simple bottle, 750 milliliters, 43% alcohol by volume, cork stopper. It's a bit upscale price. It's about $50 in Canada, probably $32 in the US. So it's not an entry-level product. And the other thing about Naked Grouse is it's a blended malt, which means it's a blend of single malts. And the single malts in this particular case are not declared on the back label. But reading the internet and knowing that the owners of this brand are Edrington, the speculation is that it's Highland Park, Macallan, and Glenturret. Glenturret nobody's really heard of. It's a single malt distiller. It's a distillery that produces mostly for blended Scotch. But everybody knows Macallan, everybody knows Highland Park, and those are known to be great distilleries. So if we have a blended malt at 43% alcohol by volume at a bit of an upscale price, should be good. So we're going to find out. I don't know what else I can tell you. This product was initially launched in 2011, and at that time it was a blended Scotch, so it had grain whiskey in it. But I think they relaunched it in 2017 and dropped the grain whiskey and made it a blended malt. Not a lot left. I've been sampling this for about a month and a half on and off, and here goes. Okay. I would imagine it's chill filtered, and I would imagine there's some artificial color. There's no age statement with this, and there's no indication on the internet that I could find as to what is the age of this. So I'll just have to go based on a tasting as to how old this might be. Okay, on the nose, the aromas are damp wood, wet leaves in the fall, just real damp kind of wood, kind of dog fur that's wet, running in the house. Not a great nose in my opinion, but it's not an expensive whiskey in that regard. On the palate, plums, stewed plums, dull sherry. And I should make a point or tell you something about this. On the back label, they make a big deal about using first fill Oloroso sherry casks. I mean, the two most overused phrases in whiskey are, it's smooth, and we use Oloroso sherry casks, or first fill. First fill meaning that the cask previously held sherry, and now the first non-sherry spirit going into the cask is whiskey. So first fill sherry casks contribute to a great flavor profile with the right spirit, but also the right wood management, good quality wood also. Are you using European oak, American oak, whatever? So they trumpet the fact on the back label, which is very tiny and hard to read, especially for me without my glasses, that they use first fill Oloroso sherry casks. Okay. Like everybody else. And then they also, they don't mention ex-bourbon casks here. So it does have a sherry note on the palate. Is it like Glenturret, that kind of sherry, or Macallan? No. If I did not read on the internet and did not know that Edrington owned this brand, I never would have guessed that Highland Park or Macallan had anything to do with this. Now, in terms of flavor profile, let's keep on describing it. We got stewed plums. I even think some dark beets, pickled beets in there. Burnt toast, damp wood, rhubarb pie. Raspberry jam. The sherry is got a real kind of a pepper note on the finish. There is some acrid, dull smoke on the finish, kind of like a vintage cigarette. That's not a compliment. And oh, is it bitter on the finish? Like you're left with some wasabi. You know, at your sushi restaurant to clean your palate for that next piece of delicious fish. If you don't have any wasabi, Naked Grouse. Not a good thing. It's acrid, it's bitter on the finish. You know, first fill Oloroso sherry casks be damned. Macallan, Highland Park, Glenturret. I don't care what is supposed to be in here. This is not good whiskey. And I wouldn't beat it up so badly had it had a reasonable price point. But in Canada, it's $50. It's 43% alcohol by volume. They're marketing it as a standalone product away from the famous Grouse lineup. So they're trying to say this is a bit special. This is disappointing. Another competitor of Naked Grouse would be Monkey Shoulder, another blended malt, which is a huge disappointment and I would avoid. These are two really kind of junk whiskeys. Like, stay away from, not worth the money. I guess you could mix it or something to disguise the taste of onion, wasabi, dull sherry, and bad wood. Like, when I taste this whiskey, it's young. It's a lot of young malts blended together, and I don't think the wood management's very good. The cask selection, contrary to what they say on the label, tells me I taste it not good. This is not up to Macallan or Highland Park standards, and that's why you don't see their names appear anywhere on the back package or officially on the Naked Grouse site. Ew, yuck, dreadful, would not repeat again. Oh, air sickness in a bag, or in a bottle actually. Okay, moving on. Next week I'm going to review a rum by popular request, Flora de Cana. This is from, I believe, Nicaragua. 18th Sanitaire, so it's not necessarily 18 years old. We'll look into that. Another one I'm going to review coming up, very interested in, Deanston 18-year-old. Hello. I hear very good things about Deanston. Not well known, but I am told very good. But we'll see. We're going to give an honest review here. Oh, it's 46.3% alcohol. It's crying out for us to try it. So that's coming up in probably 2 weeks. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. And the holidays are coming. Bye.